So this is day 26 of our Viking European Sojourn, and today we left the boat. Our boat was the Lif, and it was docked right in the heart of Amsterdam, very close to the train station. And we had breakfast, and we got off and walked to our hotel, which was the Ibis, which is on the west, I believe, west or north of the train station. And from there, we decided to tour the city. We had lots of plans, and it was a busy day. We went to Dam Square, where the Royal Palace is and where their cenotaph is. It's a tribute to the people who fought in the World Wars. And then we went to Anne Frank House. We bought our tickets in advance, so we had a scheduled time. And we bought their enhanced tour, which meant that we had a guide who gave us a lecture on Anne Frank's and her sister Margot's life, the tragic life that these two young women suffered through the Holocaust. We toured the Cheese Museum. We ate lunch along the banks of the canals, had some traditional Dutch croquettes here in Bitterballen, and they were great. We took a canal tour with lovers to explore all the different sites, and then walked the streets of the city through we went through some of the more famous areas, such as the Jordan, also known as the Nine Streets, and always right beside the canal. So you always had these visuals of boats passing by. Fantastic day, and of course we went to the Red Light district as well, both during the day and at night. So here we are in Amsterdam on the first canal, just outside the train station, and our hotel is the Ibis, right there. And there's the train station. So here we are in Dam Square, Amsterdam. So this is the Royal Palace. Like everywhere in Europe right now, all under reconstruction or renovation. And I don't know why, but a huge Madame Tussauds wax museum here. Not planning to go into there. And in the center of the square, a memorial to the Second World War. So this is a side canal in Amsterdam. It's not the main canal. And you can see a lot of houseboats here, and people are actually living in those.
Enjoy your cruise this winter? Yeah.
So this is Anne Frank's house.
They've renovated it?
They've obviously renovated it from the time she was here. I think she was removed in 1944 and put into a concentration camp where she died, I believe of pneumonia though. And we'll be going here later. And this is the cathedral right across from it. And we're in the Jordan district of Amsterdam, right by one of the canals. We bought our tickets into the Anne Frank house several months before we left for our trip, and therefore we knew exactly what time to enter. There's always a line up here. It's always best to book in advance. Unfortunately, they don't allow pictures to be taken in the museum other than in the gift shop, and that's what you're seeing here. The museum tour was fantastic, highly recommended, and I highly recommend taking the enhanced tour because you get to have a guide who explains what everything happened to the girls during their time, and the fact that their father survived and retained Anne Frank's diary and then gifted that to the world so that we could all learn about the horrors of the Holocaust. So this is actually a video showing a model of the Anne Frank's house and all the different rooms and how the family lived. Very fascinating. Highly recommend this one if you're in Amsterdam. And just down the street and across the canal is the Cheese Museum, and it's a fun place to shop for cheese. And in the basement of the Cheese Museum, they actually have an exhibit that explains the history of cheese making in Amsterdam. Fun place to stop in because not only do you get the history and able to see all these cheeses, they have lots of samples, so you can actually try most of the varieties that they have on offer. So in addition to telling you about the history of cheese making in Amsterdam, it tells you all the different processes involved. It's actually quite fascinating, and you just saw samples that they have on offer here, so it's a great way to sample everything they've got and then decide which ones you want to buy. And I found the prices actually to be quite reasonable, but what really impressed me was the variety of cheeses here. I normally always associate Dutch cheese with Gouda and a few others, but there's obviously a lot more than that to experience in a cheese market or cheese museum here in Amsterdam.
It takes a little extra attention. If it's raining, I keep them most of the times inside. And if the weather is good, we can also put out bread outside for cheese. People also ask for the evening guys that go outside. Okay, we already got the cheese feeded fresh to the cows. People like it.
Roughly every day we produce between 12 to 14 cheeses, and what's special on our milk is that it's totally fresh. And when it comes into my cheese making tube, 1 minute before it was inside the cow, and it's raw, not heated, not pasteurized, nothing, as fresh as it can be. No sour materials in the minute are after the milk, the first two main ingredients, and then we use some little bit of extra calcium.
And this was a film they were showing in the basement of the Cheese Museum. I think they have a special day each year where they basically reenact delivering the cheese in the city. So here's the video they show. Next up on our schedule was a canal cruise. We had hoped to do an open boat cruise, but the weather wasn't cooperating, so we decided to go with one of these closed-in ones, and we got on board with Lovers. Now, you can book these cruises early, but it's really not necessary. There seems to be a boat cruise offering pretty much all around the city, so you can decide at the very last minute if you want to do an open boat or a closed-in one like we did. They all seem to follow the same pass, but they have different offerings. You can get a wine and cheese tour, or just a snack tour, or nothing at all. We were planning to stop somewhere else for some wine and cheese, so we elected to go for just a basic cruise, and the prices are quite reasonable. So I would recommend that you just book it at the last minute when you're in Amsterdam and you know exactly what kind of cruise you would like. So on the cruise, you'll be taken through all the different canals. There's some fairly sharp turns. They all seem to go in the same direction, but you do pass several boats at once. You go over all or under all these low bridges here, which are quite interesting. You'll go through a swinging bridge, or they'll point out the swinging bridge if you don't pass through that particular section. You can see it was a rainy day here, and these people had all umbrellas, so they're supplied. So maybe an open cruise on a rainy day or potential rainy day is not all that bad. The people seem to enjoy it. It's just a nice way to relax and see the city. The seats are comfortable. We had a tour guide, and basically you can speak in a variety of different languages, so we had these headphones. And they described what we were seeing as we went by and some of the architectures in the different neighborhoods of Amsterdam. It was really quite enjoyable, and one of the must things you need to do if you're visiting the city.
I think we bought the wine. I remember seeing it.
So this is an example of one of the open boats passing under one of the many bridges that you find in Amsterdam. So you can take all these cruises all day long, but they also offer dinner evening cruises. We thought we might do that, but the weather didn't cooperate, so we elected to just find our own place in a small restaurant along the street. And we decided to do that after we toured the Red Light district, get an experience there to see what that was all about. And highly recommend you do that as well, as it is the most popular tourist attraction in all of Amsterdam. At least that's what they tell me.
I wouldn't think that's a great name for a boat.
So after our boat or canal cruise, we decided to wander the streets of Amsterdam. So many pubs and outdoor cafes, you just got to decide on which one you want to sit at and have some lunch or dinner. Lots of different options. If I was having dinner, or like we did later on this evening, we went to Old Town there. The streets are windy and interesting, and there seem to be just a whole collection of small restaurants there. Whereas the Jordan area where we are right now, right beside the canal, there was smaller shops, but not nearly the concentration of sort of mid to upscale restaurants, and with all the different options. In the Jordan area, you had lots of areas where you could get some food beside the canal, such as traditional bitterball and croquettes and stoop waffles and so forth, and take in the views of the canal and especially the boats going by. But it was Old Town and near the Red Light district where you found a lot of different restaurants to basically sit down and enjoy your evening with. And the lights in the area are fantastic as well. So just going down there for that was just spectacular. But the whole city is immensely walkable. The only thing you need to watch out for are all the cyclists. You need to stay out of their laneways, else they'll run you over. The Dutch are busy people. They've got places to go, and they ride their bikes quite fast, even though the streets are quite busy. So just keep that in mind as you're wandering around, taking your pictures.